Yo, what's going on, guys? Wax here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the game Hoop Central. Once again, I'll be checking out the latest updates, the latest meters, shot meters, stuff like that, and I'll be sharing my honest opinions and what I think about the game so far. So we load in, and as you can see, a lot has changed since my last video. They added a park, they added a few balls on each court that you can shoot with. There is an FPS counter and a region indicator. Right now I'm in an Oregon region. I think they have California regions, hopefully, but this is not my main region, but I am getting pretty good FPS in this one. So they added a new little meter here, this fill circle meter, and then they added a new feedback system to where it tells you the percent and how much it was covered. There's also a 2K style meter feedback, where it's screen, and it kind of shows you the release, like that one for example is very early, and the coverage. There's perfect, which obviously you would green with, and then there's just early, if I can get that. There's also good, which is like right before a green, and that should just be an early, but I guess it's a very early. There's also very late, and then there's hopefully, I know there's slightly late and slightly earlys. Like that should have been a slightly early. But if you do a lot of shots really fast, yeah, like a slightly late, it might, you know, take a while for the actual game to figure out what you're trying to do. But I personally like the percentage shower because that is just a sense of what the actual stuff is going to be like. So let me make sure all of my stats are 99. Okay, so pretty cool thing about this game is that with a shooting shot creator, if we get, you know, the double arcs and of course those two builds, besides RB roll 3s moving to the side 3s, a shooting shot creator should have around an 85 3 and about an 80, or like maybe roughly an 83 moving 3. So if we put both of those into account, they'll be able to actually get 90s from here, which is actually pretty incredible because if you don't already know, Saiyan RB, superstar, or not superstar, legend shooting shot, actually is able to 70 with a legend shooting shot, and that is very low based off of what we're seeing here. I'm sure there's going to be an accuracy nerf, stuff like that, kind of like how Jokes did it, where there's a minus attribute per acrobat that you do, which would actually be a little bit better to balance out you know, how acrobat works. I'm not sure if the badge is going to be called difficult shots, because from what I've seen so far, it's going to be a lot more based off of 2K than RB roll 3 is, because the gym is literally almost identical to 2K's gym, which is super incredible because making a gym that's almost identical to a AAA title is a pretty big achievement. If you didn't already see the gym, I'll put a clip of it up on the screen. We're also said to get fuel, kind of like similar to RB roll 3's D fuel. We'll have boosts like that. So, you know, no idea what it's going to be called so far. I know that it might be maybe called V fuel. I have really no idea. But yeah, so they also added hezzies, as you've been seeing me do those as I've been doing handle moves. Hesitations, pretty cool. Also fades, obviously, and moving shots, as I've been showing you guys. That was a really deep fade, but there's obviously going to be no build in the game that can get a 99 3 and 99 moving shot, because that would be way too broken and overpowered. Obviously, me doing acros right now really doesn't show anything, because he will have accuracy, like accuracy decreases and stuff like that, and stuff that happens when he implements badges. He already said that he was going to have double archetypes. That was already said somewhere before, but I have no idea what the archetypes are going to be called, because judging by what I said before of this game being based off of 2K a lot more, we may have like paint protector, or you know, like rim protector, you know, Deadeye shooter, stuff like that. Builds that are more like, you know, offensive demon stuff that's a lot more based off of the 2K arcs. That's maybe what we'll be seeing in the future. But we have almost it looks like we have almost everything done here. We have moving to the sides. We don't have undershots. We don't have force fades. That's not a thing. There's also no force acros, which is pretty interesting. You kind of have to tell the system that you want to acro, which is a pretty odd way to do this, because you definitely need to have those. We still need moving forwards. I can see that. And I'm saying that we should need forced acros so that we can implement undershots. That's definitely something that Hoop Central needs. You know, we still need to add back defense, and I'm saying we, but I mean like Hoop Central needs to add back defense. You know, it's like it needs to make sure that, you know, we people have been saying a lot, like, I don't want to make bails and stuff. Like, why should bails be able to be bailed? But if you really think about it, bails shouldn't miss 100% of the time, because they're not all bails are 0%. Like a 65, for example, is a pretty low percent, right? Like, for example, if I do like an early shot, like if I just hit it like that, it's a 15.4, super early. Just like that, 11%. Those things don't need to airball as harshly as they're airballing, for the sole fact that it is possible to make a 20. It is possible to make an 11%. It should be possible to make these percents, because they're not 0%. The reason that they're breaking so hard is just because they're low percents, which I understand. I guess that takes out the option to really bail super low percents, which is kind of frustrating. But it definitely removes an aspect from the game that was needed. I know a lot of people will probably just, you know, say no, bail should not be allowed to be made in the game. But in my opinion, there should be a fine line between a bail and a 0%. I didn't miss a green. That just hit the front of the rim, so that's why it looked like I missed a green. But you know, it's, in my opinion, you should be able to make these like math archetypes. Those are not math archetypes, math meter arcs and shooting arcs. Those all need to be implemented in an actual system where it's not just you airball if it's too early or too late. Because in the near future, there may be builds that can make shots that are too early, too late. I've made a 70, you know, layup that was too early, but in this game, you have no option of doing it too early. He really nerfed earlies like way harder than they should have been nerfed. We have all 99 stats, and with a too early, it's just a really like stupid low percent. If I really quickly go here and go to my layup, let me, for example, change it to literally the lowest you can have it, 50, right? So now if I do a layup, right, that's a late 49, for example. Now an early layup is the same percent as if I had 99 layup. It's not any different than before with early layups. Like, he didn't put any math. I don't know what math was put into earlies, but they're the exact same for the lowest layup to the very highest layup that we have available to us right now. I'm telling you right now, if I had a 0 layup and I full barred it, it would probably be like a 10%, and if I earlied it, it would probably be a 30%. So those definitely need to be fixed, in my opinion, because that is kind of a weird way to make earlies and lates. So if I too late it, like 1%, for example, and if I give myself, as I said, for the layup, lowest is 50. So if I give myself a 52 pointer, late it is an 18. With a 99, I got a 1%, and I kid you not, I am holding this down till the very end, not letting go early at all. Like, look, I'll make sure that this is as late as it possibly can be. If I hold E and then press this, okay, I think that just cancels out the shot besides holding it down. And RB World 3 used to hold it down, but it's just so, I don't understand, because it is, earlies and lates are so broken right now. Like, I don't know, those need to be fixed. I know a lot of people were complaining about them being like too high percent, but now they are just stupid low. And not only are they stupid low, but they break the stats. It's just really, I don't know. But yeah, so far they need to fix that. They need to add standing movings, standing layups, undershots, so standing fades. Yeah, that's the mid-range actually affects your acrobat now. Even with a 99 moving and having such low mid-range kind of affects the fact that I cannot acro anymore. But it's, I don't know, it's, the game itself right now is really good. There's just a lot of things they need to fix before they should start testing any versus modes, like 1v1 modes, anything like that. This needs to be a lot more refined than it is right now. Obviously, it's still a prototype, as in the title, Hoop Central prototype in brackets. But you know, definitely could be a lot better how they, you know, do this, and how they make up and unders a much higher percent. I just realized up and unders are so much of a higher percent than just straight head-on layups. Is that true? I don't actually know if that's true. Don't take my word for that, because I just got similar percents, but I don't know. Okay, so yeah, they also don't have range check, like Jokes didn't do ever. Fading from a step back into the 3-pointer counts as a 2-pointer. The reason I know that is because if I go back here and fade like that, that's a 73, right? Now if I go into the 2 and then fade out from the 3 like this, that's a 2. Oh, okay, no, okay, so that was a 3, but I know for a fact that most of the time, yeah, that's a 2-pointer. And I know you're probably saying because I left my feet here, but the way that Jokes did his is you were able to step back to here, and that would no longer be a 3-pointer. The only way to get a fade 3-pointer was from half court. That was the only possible way. So, okay, so they actually did change that. They fixed that based off of how broken Jokes' game was. The fact that you can chain anything makes it so we don't need to do dribble glitches anymore, because there's not going to really be a predictable way to ISO, especially with shot creators or playmakers. Whatever they decide to name them is up to them, but the basic archetype I'm basing this off of is RB World 3. So I would say, like, true playmakers are going to be kind of incredible. They're going to have really versatile ISO options, and they're not going to be as useless as they are in RB World 3. And people will hate on me saying, you know, playmakers aren't useless. You know, I'm able to use a playmaker just fine. And Traffic, someone I know named Clouded Traffic, is actually really good at using a playmaker, because he actually knows what he's meant to do. Because playmakers are meant to pass. They're not really meant to ISO unless that's really our only option of an ISO player. Playmakers are meant to tricky pass out of shots and get other people open, not themselves open. But they can get themselves open, but what that would do is they would probably have no stamina by the end of getting themselves open, but it would make another man have to come and help and, you know, try and contest your layup. And then you can tricky pass out to your teammate, because that is what a playmaker was meant to do in RB World 3. I think what we're seeing here may be the same idea, but giving playmakers a little more of a way to get themselves open and not just their teammates. So I think this is a pretty cool, this is a pretty cool idea, making, handles being able to, chain pretty much anything with anything. So if I do this into like a spin move, it's just like you can do a lot. And when they add, Sham Gods behind the backs, double behind the backs is what I meant. when they add all these new dribble moves and possibly dribble packs, we may be able to see some new breeds of ISO players. Not just predictable, drive in, double step back, And we don't have knock looses yet. And the reason why I think knock looses are really important is to prevent post scores from being as cheesy as they are in RB World 3. Knock looses in the post should be like a way more guaranteed percent than it is in RB World 3. And knock looses off of step backs should not be as like as deadly as they are in RB World 3. Because if you drive in, do a step back like this, you will get knocked immediately by the person standing in front of you. That shouldn't be as severe. But I feel like knock loose is definitely a piece of the game that does need to be added. I'm not gonna edit this video for the sole fact that I would have to render all of my edits into it. So I'm gonna just make sure that everything I say in this is not like a repetition of what I said before, and make sure that all of my ideas are spread fairly across each update and what I think about the game. I had some suggestions in here. I had some thoughts about what it currently is, and some thoughts about some ideas of fixing things, some just main updates that to show you guys. But I don't know, I definitely strongly believe that this game will be able to easily, and when I say easily, I genuinely mean easily, take over RB World 3. And I don't say this because I think that RB World 3 is bad. I think RB World 3 currently is one of the best basketball games on Roblox. It has badges, it has double archetypes, it has spots, it has records, it has legend through rookie reps, and it's not a click to shoot game. And it is just a really, really, really big game with a lot of players. And it has really, he almost balanced the game, and that is a pretty big achievement. Jokes has almost balanced RB World 3, and once he finishes RB World 3, we may see a different basketball game that he makes, kind of like maybe, I'm guessing what he meant by a play now game is like card packs, amethyst, I don't even know. I've never played 2K before, but I know there's like different types of rarities of cards. He's gonna probably have that with like Mike Johnson and all the RBA players, and you'll be able to make your teams and then do 5v5s. He's probably working on AIs for that, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, this game eventually will be able to take over RB World 3, because not only will it be necessarily better, but it could be something new, and a lot of people just really want something new right now, because a lot of people are kind of fed up with RB World 3 not updating as promisingly as Jokes kind of put it out to be. And RB World 3 eventually will be updated, but Jokes kind of went on a path that nobody really wanted him to go on. And yes, he listens to the community and changes things accordingly, fixes things to what people say, but he does it very, very late, whereas Voidstar usually fixes things the day after he hears about a bug. It may be a little more stressful when the bugs are a little bit harder to handle, like Posterizer being broken. I'm sure that's just an animation bug and he needed to just change the animation, but you never know in the future what Voidstar, what he may have on his plate to actually have to fix. So we shouldn't expect daily updates from Hoop Central when the game is like fully, not completed, but because RB World 3 beta is what RB World 3 is right now. It's still a beta. So when Hoop Central gets into its maybe like alpha phase, we shouldn't expect updates that quick, because it may be a little more difficult to change things and fix things. But right now the game is looking pretty good. Animations look great, shooting is awesome, and layupping is pretty good. There's just a few fixes that I said earlier, and yeah, I guess it comes down to, is RB World 3 gonna be the best game in the future forever? And that's, some people may prefer it over this game, but this game really needs to like step up its game if it's actually gonna beat RB World 3. But definitely could possibly beat it at some point. But yeah, that's just kind of what I think about the game. Some fixes, some updates, some of that, some of this, and yeah, I think it has potential. Definitely, everybody's been saying it has potential. I genuinely think that. You know, hopefully they keep both of these things here and this like this in the future as well, because this is actually a really nice thing to just join a server and not have to play a game to know that you're on 500 ping. Obviously, you could just do this, but sometimes I forget to check my ping, so I'll hop into a game and realize how delayed it is and be pretty mad that I just joined an Asian server and now I'm gonna lose. So this is really nice to see like what kind of server you're in and be like, oh, okay, nice. It's also like a reminder to check your ping before you hop into a game, and if you're in your server, you're gonna be pretty happy and stay there. If you're not in your server, you're probably gonna leave, which is good. So yeah, game has a lot of potential. Game, definitely could take over Arbor 3 someday. They have really cool menu ideas, and I am excited to see the future development of Hoop Central. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll probably be making a tier list like all the other YouTubers have been doing. I have my ideas, they have theirs, and I might express my ideas in the future. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace.